Music Familia Productions, world premiere.
You'll never get the best of me, I'm anti-everything. You'll never get the best of me, I'm anti-everything.
Antman and his intern Siobhan also bring you so much more than that. Live, local, from Antman HQ Studios every Tuesday and Thursday, starting now.
What's going on, Music Familia? How's it going this week?
What's up?
It's going good.
We are hanging out live. We're going to go. So I kicked out my couches, and I got 4 big, huge dudes to sit where the couch used to be.
Don't lie. Don't make it up like you just removed the couch. It was because we exceeded the weight limit of the couch.
Okay, yeah, well.
We didn't want to break it.
Well, I was going to be
Lot of
nice
heavy
and say
guys.
that you exceeded the seating capacity.
That's a nice way of putting it. Thank you.
I am
You're welcome.
I'll take
hanging
that.
out, man. This is so awesome, dude. This is the most people that I've had on the podcast since we started. And I've had more people like in the background that nobody has seen, but never this many brave souls to step up into the show. So thanks for coming, guys. We got
No,
that.
seriously, thanks for having us.
The
Yeah, cheers, man.
Admiralty and Zoo Trippin'. What's going on, boys and girls and everybody?
Hey.
So we are live here at Antman Verses, and a lot to talk about, man. So much to talk about. Siobhan, what do you have tonight for everybody?
So I have a couple of stories. You know, Alexa's great until she calls the cops on you. And, oh my God, pot shortage. Oh no. Oh no.
That's a shame.
I know, right? A state of emergency, to be exact.
When a state calls the emergency of not having any marijuana.
That's awful.
That's pretty,
Yeah.
right?
That is
And you
awful.
legalized it,
Pretty
so
bad.
why didn't you plan for that?
Right?
Wait,
you should have
what
planned
state?
For Nevada.
Oh, Lord.
Like shortly after legalizing, they're running out of pot.
I thought they knew. Well, maybe that's what it was, you know?
I
You
mean-
legalized and
I mean,
everybody's like,
like,
finally, and they rush the
they-
stores like
right.
an iPod sale.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it seems like.
Right.
And guys, what are we here to talk about tonight, man? I'm going to let the Admiralty go first. What are we here to talk about tonight, boys?
What we're going to talk about, us recording right now, we're going to talk about upcoming shows. We're going to talk about fan base.
Probably history of the band.
Yeah, we'll talk about a little bit where we come from and the rebirth and where we're sitting right now.
Hell yeah.
And future plans, I guess.
Right on.
Yeah.
Zoo Trippin'. What's going on, Tony?
We're going to be talking a lot about our documentary that we've been making over the course of the last year.
Epically fucking
Nice.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's a stolen phrase. That's trademark, right?
It is, yeah, epically. Yeah, I gotta make sure. I gotta be careful because it's $39.95. I was told.
$39.95.
Josh told $39.95 every time I use epically awesome. So,
Oh, that's
really?
another one.
so
I
was
didn't know
like,
that.
You're
it's
racking them
another
up, man.
one.
It's
I
like
know,
gum
but-
fines in Catholic school.
Oh man, so we're gonna be hanging out live with these guys all the way till 10 o'clock. I want to give a shout out to all my Facebook and YouTube viewers. Photo Nation AP is already in it right here. Damn, it must be bright in there. And got some low audio coming from us, and so we're gonna enhance that shit real quick.
Give the old enhance, like in Super Troopers.
Right,
Enhance. exactly
what I was going
Enhance.
for.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Oh, print the goddamn photo.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Oh, all right. So hopefully, Photo Nation, you can hear us a little bit better. So
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, everybody.
yeah.
I've got everybody right here.
Yeah, I've got everybody. right.
Somebody right here has an incredibly deep voice, and every time you speak, it's like, whoa.
Sorry.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get into some new music right here, and something right here from 8 Pound Pressure. This is off their new album, and this is called "Wasting Time." We're gonna be right back with a couple of songs, and we'll be back with the guys after this.
just wasting time, feeding the machine, and time can't take that. All we own, just wasting time, fading away, emotionless. All we own, just wasting time, feeding the machine. I can't take that
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show.
What's up?
Well, hey.
Well,
Well, hello there.
well, hello.
We're down a person.
We
Yeah.
are. We are. We're down a person, but that's all right. So we're hanging out here with Tony from Zoo Trippin'. What's going on, Tony?
Hi, hi, hi.
We're
Just
hanging out
on
with Derek from the Admiralty,
What's up?
and the big man himself, Josh from the Admiralty, the
Sup.
drummer. What's up?
Sup?
We're hanging out with the lovely Siobhan as well.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
So,
hey.
Hey, girl.
I want to give a shout out to Hey girl.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So Cam Grady is in the chat room.
Aw.
Jordan's in the chat room. Photo Nation AP. And okay, you will laugh at me, but I got you on my Rocky now. Figure out how to get it back on there. What? Okay. So turns out you need to help your mom because she's
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Mama.
right. Yeah.
You gotta learn to type
You
text.
can't use voice to text in the YouTube. It doesn't work. So we're hanging out here. What's going on, guys? So, what is it in the music scene? I'm going to ask you guys as a group. As what is it in the music scene that you guys love so much about the Columbus area? I guess we'll start. Tony, you go first.
I just love the diversity of it. I know that there's a lot of cities that have a very specific sound. Like if you're going towards anywhere in the South, you get more of that folk country kind of feel. And I know a lot of the Midwest is kind of dominated by a very heavy metal kind of sound. And far East Coast as well as far West Coast, you've got a lot of hip hop and things like that.
Welcome back, Lynn.
Oh,
Hey, man.
I know shit happens. It's cool, man.
back in it to win it. But yeah, there's very few cities that I've stumbled upon where there's such a diversity in sound where you can get a little bit of everything, and I think that this is one of them where you can get everything from funk to metal to hip hop to alternative and country and everything in
Talking
between.
about Columbus.
Talking about Columbus.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. We were actually asking the guys what they think about the music scene here and what they like about it so much. Would you care to chime in, Lynn?
I'm sure my answer will probably reflect Tony's, but mostly that, at least from what I walked in on, you can hear all kinds of different music in Columbus. You can go anywhere to hear metal, to bluegrass, to blues, and I think it's also kind of on the up and up in a way. There's a lot more attention being drawn to Columbus.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And our former guitarist, he used to say that it's like geographically, it's between Chicago and New York. You know what I mean? It kind of like has a flavor of both of those scenes.
Right.
Good
It's a
for
nice
touring.
stop in between. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the cool city in the Midwest.
What do you think, Derek? You're a pretty awesome lead guitarist there for the Admiralty, my man. And we go back actually, quite some time. And we met at the first Summit for Soldiers. And man, that a lot has changed. Like the Aladdin Shrine Center is not even up in even standing anymore.
Stop, I'm gonna cry.
Like, I mean, it's pretty sad, man. But so, what do you guys think? You know, coming from the rock scene here in Columbus, doing that for as long as you guys have been doing it, what do you think about the music scene here?
I'm going to go the opposite of you guys because I 100% agree that you have a whole plethora of music, but I like the mix of crowd you get. You know what I mean? I mean, you could be standing out front talking to a bum and hearing his stories about war, to going inside and talking to people who you never would have even thought were rock guys at all. You know, it's just it's awesome that so many people can come together, and that's something new for me anyway in the Columbus music scene, because I've been out for a while, and before it wasn't like that. Everybody was dedicated to their certain bands, you know, and
Clicks
they didn't
almost.
Yeah, they didn't branch out from that. So the fact that everybody comes and stays for the whole shows now, that's huge. So the crowds, I think, are what I like about the music scene right now.
Is it hard for you guys, you know, coming from, because you guys really ideally come from two different ends, you know, and I think that's the great thing about Columbus, man. Like, the unity and the camaraderie, and we've talked about it on the show, like, I think every week at least one of the viewers or the fans chimes in about it, and they talk about how awesome it is that everybody comes together on one roof, jams their heads off, whatever, you know, and then at the end of the night, everybody shakes hands, helps each other carry their equipment off. What do you guys, advice-wise, what do you guys say to the younger bands, or the bands that don't stick around for the whole bill? There's 4 bands on a bill, and then at midnight, there's 2 bands in the bar, but 4 bands are on the bill.
I say if you're gonna ghost the bar, if you're going to turn it into a ghost town like that, where you promote strictly for yourself and strictly for your band, and your fans come out and they see you, you're cheating your fans, because if you're selling a $5 to $10 to $15, $20 ticket, that really you want to make that stretch, and by stretching that, you're getting more bands for your buck. And B, you're saying that you don't care about those other bands that are playing. So if that's the case and you don't care about those bands, maybe you should be booking shows with different bands that you do care about, where it's like, hey, we want you to stick around for this next band because we enjoy them as much as we think our fans will enjoy them.
Wow.
Yeah, ghosting, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot as far as networking goes, too, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet. Like, you'll go to one show and you don't have any contacts, and then you said, hey, I'll stick around for this one. And you end up watching one band, then they come off, you start talking, next thing you know, you guys are playing 2
Yeah, you're
weeks
networking.
later.
It's great.
You never know who's going to have a show for you in another city while you need it while you're on tour, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, our first show, the band we opened for, we got offered to come down to Nashville to hang out with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they were awesome guys, a different style of music than what we're used to, but
Right.
absolutely awesome. And they networked with us and wanted us to come to Nashville.
I think networking, man, is something that, you know, bands are required to have so many hats these days. Like, you have to have your social media hat, you have to have your managing hat, because, you know, some bands just don't have a manager. They're a multitude of heads, you know, and so trying to make sure you're relevant, make sure you're getting new music recorded, make sure you got new music written, make sure you're presentable for the bands, the venues to want to accept you. What is the hardest part for you guys trying to get into venues?
Trying to get into venues, I don't find to be so much of a challenge, because I feel if they're not ready for us, then so be it. You know?
Right.
We'll go to the next venue, and if there's not enough venues, then we'll go to the next town.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Admiralty?
I would say that is the hardest part. I mean, yeah, you can just keep going, keep trying to find. But before going there, it's that you keep trying to hit a venue up, and sometimes the venues just don't even give you a response or anything. It's like, really?
It's better to get a response in a way, like a lot of festivals you'll apply, and most of them you don't hear back. But when they email you back, and we were talking about this today, where they say, hey, unfortunately, we're all booked up. Thank you for applying. We appreciate your time. That is so much more meaningful to me to just get even just get a no than a nothing.
And then especially if they
that makes
then
me
add
want-
that but at the end, like,
Right.
but
Yeah. It
we
makes
might
me-
have an opening for
Right.
this.
Maybe next year, you
Right.
know, like.
But that's what I'm going to say about venues now. Like I said, I took a break from music for a while, and when I was playing before, obviously there was bigger bands at the top of the lists, you know. Now all that has changed. But also the venues have changed. You know, when we booked a show at Bethel Road Pub, you know, it was weird that they pay you. You know what I mean? It was like, whoa, you're paying us, you know. They're like, well, yeah, we'll pay you, and then based on liquor sales and whatnot, we'll give you more money.
I remember a number of years ago that was not the case.
No, absolutely not. You sold tickets, or, you know, if you paid a promoter.
I think they laughed at us the first time that we said, "Hey, we want at least a guarantee of a couple $100, blah blah blah," and they were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
No.
Yeah, it was a laughing deal.
That wasn't even that long ago. It was probably 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was
that.
that's about
that
what I'm
much
talking about.
since
Yeah,
then.
about the same exact time.
Game
yeah,
has changed.
They would laugh at you. You know, it's like we don't guarantee you anything.
They must be really putting value on the music for that bar. You know, like they're actually saying this is the way we want to go, as aside from saying, all right, we're a sports pub. We want to
Right.
put value on our
Right.
music.
Right.
But
No,
I think when you're gonna have good music coming in, you have to have good liquor deals. You have to have good food. You have to have a good menu. You can't have, whatever you order from bulk order from Gordon Foods or whatever, wherever you get your huge food.
You want the
shipment
full
from.
package.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
you can't just walk in and be like, well, it's always one or the other. You can never just find a happy medium. But I think Columbus as a whole is starting to get the clue now. I think they're starting to learn from all the traveling bands because Columbus is like a hub for music, and just like logistics, I think it's a great avenue for the up and comers.
But I also think that maybe the bands themselves have stepped their game up. You were talking about Ghost in the Bars and stuff. How many times are you going to play a show and you're the third band on or almost toward the end, and by the time you play, there's nobody there. At some point you're like, are we that bad, or did we just not bring enough people? We need to step our game up and be better for these people.
Right.
And honestly, I think the bands have stepped their game up too.
Makes
There's
sense.
a lot of
Work harder
competition
for it.
Absolutely.
And doing that helps you get those
Right.
paid gigs. you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, they see how hard you're working.
Yeah, it kind of keeps moving itself. that way.
Absolutely.
Is there a 3-strike rule for bands that bail out on you on a bill? Like, is there an unwritten rules of the road that people just don't know? Like, if you clean out a bar 3 times in a row, do you not get invited? Like, is there more than because of the way the scene is?
I'm pretty
is
sure
it
that
more?
everybody's got a lot of rules of threes in their general life period. I think that's just one of those numbers where that kind of stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've had even with our auditions, we have a three strike system, kind of like what's the zombie show?
Got him.
Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, where it's
How
like,
many walkers have you had?
yeah, how many walkers? Blah blah blah. When we audition people, we're like, you get 3 strikes. Do you got a girlfriend? That's a thing. Do you got a job? That's a thing. Do you go to school? That's a thing. Do you have kids?
another
That's
band.
a thing.
Yeah.
Another band. That's a thing. And you only get 3 of those if you're trying to audition for our band. And
Really? That sounds like a system we need to start
I
instituting
was
for
gonna say
different things.
that's a pretty brilliant
Yeah.
way
I mean, that's
to
like an interview
You
process.
can only divvy out so
Right.
much time, and all those
Exactly.
things take.
A lot of musicians do that. They overburden themselves. They have a wife, they have
Right.
kids, they have work, they have this, and then they have the band, and then they have this.
Something's gonna
T-ball
suffer.
practice,
Right.
and you can't.
And
do
we would
all
love
of
for you
it.
to have a social life and have lovers and children
Right.
and white picket fences, but in the reality is that we can't do that. So therefore, you can't do that. We need a little
least
bit
right
of
now.
all of your time.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we sincerely need it all, and we need you to be willing to sacrifice it all.
I think bands could take a lesson from that rule that you guys have for sure.
Dedication's a big thing.
It's worked.
When you
the
get in
guitarist
there.
that we got is like freaking awesome.
But back on the point, though, the rule of threes is the only time I've ever encountered that in real life was I remember there was a 3-strike system with a particular bar and a particular band that we had played with it several times. I'm not going to mention said band, and they're actually no longer playing, but for the sake of the conversation, we'll call them Miller Makes It Right. So Miller Makes It
Wow,
Right.
that's a good band name. We should have thought of that.
Yeah.
Miller Makes It Right had a 3rd strike with a particular show that I had booked at a venue called Woodlands with a.
I love Woodlands, by the way.
I know you're
That's
talking
great.
about
Woodlands
now.
Tavern, shout
Yeah.
out.
Great joint. Paul Painter booked us, and we had done work with him before. We have since done, like, we did a release show with him at Park Street and all that jazz. And it's fine, we do good work together, but that particular time it was a snowstorm. It was really bad, and we didn't realize that this band, Miller Makes It Right, had already been on their 3rd strike. Well, they were on their 2nd strike where members didn't show up, so they couldn't play the show. So the
Brutal.
3rd time around was the time that we had booked them. Members didn't show up, and that was like, that's it, you're done, no more can you play here. And then also negatively reflected on
Oh,
us as
yeah.
well.
Right.
Wow. So I want to go to the YouTube here. So it turns out Mom was talking about Roku, and autocorrect
Yeah.
totally made her look stupid. I think that happens to all of us. So she got us on her Roku at home. So she's actually watching us on her flat screen probably in her room, hanging out.
I would guarantee in the room.
Yep. And so I want to give a shout out to Jordan in the chat room.
Hey, man. What's up?
Hey, Jordan.
And Photo Nation AP, fuck that frozen pizza and GFS hot dogs. Yeah. So he obviously knows what's going down with that. So I also want to give a shout out to Columbus Botanical Depot, man. My man Joe. Check him out, Columbus Botanical Depot or CBDHempHealth.com. You guys can go ahead, give him a call too, 614-407-4420. Let him know Antman sent you. And if you use the hashtag Antman Verses, then you get your first purchase. You get a certain percentage off of your first purchase. So I will leave that up to you to decide if you want to use that or not. But you can run over there and use that now.
Wait, does that mean I get to use it too?
No, Siobhan. No, nice try. But also check out Photo Nation AP, man. Coming up, this guy's going to be awesome. He's going to be offering a bunch of photos for bands, local people, this, that, the other. He's doing he did a birth photography thing.
Wow.
It was pretty weird.
I believe it.
That's a way to put it.
But
It was pretty weird.
But in all fairness, man, dude's talented as shit. So
He is.
And Raw Designs by Raw, man. Ryan Woods, give him a call, man, definitely. One of those awesome guys. You need to go over to designsbyraw.com, check him out. He's handling all of our graphic designs work and stuff like that over here. He does businesses and logos and fun stuff. Makes you look pretty. So you can do that over there. And check out antmanvs.com. Check out our website and all of our social media, top right-hand corner. And we have a brand new song. We're getting some music coming from Zoo Trippin' tonight. That's going to be playing live. And we got a special song from the Admiralty right here, right now. And I love this, man. I love this.
Well, it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
This
I
is
know.
now. Listen, we are currently still in the studio working, and we managed to get just a snippet. So what you're going to hear is not the full song. You're going to get probably 20 seconds worth of it, but just enough to give you a taste. But this is not finished. This is just us in the studio. So
It'll just get
this
better
is just for
from here.
you guys. We didn't
Which
show this to
studio?
anybody
Yeah,
else.
which studio?
If you don't mind us asking.
Well, actually, we record with our former guitar player,
Former
Brian
guitar player
Burchett.
from
He
an
lives in
older
Richwood.
band.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, really awesome guy. We'll get to that later, though, when we start talking about recording and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And
So-
band history. So
what's the name of the song? Just kick it off, boys.
Cloud Watcher.
All right, cool. Here we go. Brand new stuff right here. The Admiralty. Let's get it.
Won't change himself for better, afraid of something new. Never gives any effort, afraid to see the struggle through. With his eyes to the sky, greatness on his mind. Every chance goes by. He's a cloud watcher. Now I'm hanging from a tightrope, cutting my hands with the razor blade. Feel like there is no hope from this life I'm on. Nothing lost.
Hey, this is Josh.
This is Mike.
This is Jordan.
This is Derek. We're the Admiralty, and you're listening to Antman Verses.
CTP Magazine World Premiere.
This is a public service announcement from the Organic Bandits. Shoot your local heroin dealer. Oh my God, what the fuck is happening again? Another soul turns to dust of people lost a friend. The culprit's heroin and the cycle is vicious. Family and friends not meeting the ends to help you with your sickness. This addiction has one mission, put the kids in the ditches. It's chemical warfare, the living victims witness. Lost so many loved ones, family and some friends. Only when we rise up and fight will we win. Cause it's feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is not homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold, right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, the many guys die. Feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is not homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold, right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, the many guys die. It's gone too far for too long. I wanna go back to taking hits from the bomb. When we were passing sacks in the back of the class to the classy little bastard with the staff and daddy's tab. Before I found the coke and you found the heroin. When all we did was smoke, can I go there again? Mama's in recovery, my dad is still drinking. Trying to float this music thing and keep a shit from singing. And it's feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is now homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, the many gotta die. Feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is now homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, the many gotta die. It's time to go rogue, vigilante on these dealers. Let them folks know that we don't fancy what they're dealing. Your feelings don't matter when the blood begins to splatter. Better quit that shitty chatter, bitch, and give me what I'm after. I come to bust your dope, give your cash to charity. Fuck your ass up, swell your eyes of clarity. Get it off the streets, eliminate the game. Playing Russian roulette, every day is the same. And it's feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is the homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, so many gotta die. Feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is not homegrown while we're sitting back. Letting it unfold right before our rise. Collecting up a massive soul, so many gotta die. Feeling grace fast through the present and the past. Heroin is not homegrown while we're sitting back. Watching it unfold right before our eyes. Collecting up a massive soul, so many gotta die.
Broken heart, I feel that's probably something
free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness, I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness. Now I open my eyes, see the pillows inside. Freaking out as I can't leave this bed. Then sat up on the bed for all the things she said, remaining in my mind. And then she got me with all my bones bruised in a dance to lose. I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness, I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness. Now I open my eyes and see the pillows inside. Freaking out as I am can't leave this bed. Then sat up on the bed for all the things she said, remaining in my mind. Then she got me with all my bones bruised in a dance to lose. I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness, I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness, I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness, I'm free. The darkness that you put me through. The darkness and the darkness.
What's going on, boys?
Hi.
Hi.
We in cha.
So I want to give a shout out to our YouTube music familia hanging out in the room. And I want to give a shout out to Jordan, Paul, Photo Nation AP, our man Mark Stapleton from Sever It All. I want to give a shout out to him as well.
You said Paul. Is that
Paul.
would that be Paul Costco?
That would be Paul
That would
Costco.
be.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you obviously he's a fan of yours.
Okay, so-
what's the story on that? Because I have a story myself.
Yeah, so we go like way back, like Cadillac seats, man. Like,
Like
so,
like how far back are we talking?
Like, so probably 7-8 years now.
Okay. Okay.
And his mom and dad come to my graduation. In fact, his mom and dad became like my mom and dad. They came to my graduation. In fact, they're the only family that I had. Shame on my family. First and foremost, for not coming to my graduation, because
Right.
now look at me, haha, bitches. So no, but anyway, so she came to my graduation, her and her husband Jerry, and they brought cookies. Siobhan was there too. I want to give a shout out to
The
Siobhan.
cookies were
So-
really good.
They were fresh, dude. They were still
Mom and
hot
Dad
in,
partner are
in
the
the
best.
container.
How do you do that?
I
How
don't
do you pull that off?
It's like fucking magic, man.
It's just a heater
It's
in
like,
the trunk.
It's like Italian fucking cooking magic. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's
known for
it's
that.
pretty awesome,
Right?
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of crazy that you know him too, because I met him in middle school. So we're going way, way back here.
Oh,
He's
like-
got
Okay.
you beat.
So
Like Model T seat without
Sure,
seatbelts.
Sure. So I met him in middle school, knew him all through high school, and any band I was ever in, literally, I don't care if we were playing on the border of Ohio and Kentucky, out of nowhere, he would show up. I mean, he was like the biggest fan of any of the bands that I'd ever been in. So I've had,
Oh, he just hit me up. He says he wants a shirt and a CD, by the way, too.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pull that off.
Of course.
All right. Paul can
He
get a
pulls
T-shirt and a
off his
CD.
shirt.
Right, yeah.
No, if you want this shirt, you can have it.
Yeah, be specific.
I don't think he'd
Which-
fit.
Which shirt? Be
Right.
specific.
No, I think we can hook him up with a shirt and a CD. Yeah.
Absolutely. Make sure you autograph it. He's a huge fan of autographs.
Dude, absolutely. I know that for a fact because every CD he ever got of any of the bands we were ever in, he always wanted them signed and stuff. So that's really cool. Paul, thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
man. I want to give a shout out to Paul, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be nice to your sister, you bully. Right? For real. No, so we're hanging out with Admiralty and Zoo Trippin', man. And first and foremost, guys, thank you for doing what you do as artists and musicians, man. You guys are fucking epically awesome. $39.95.
$39.95.
Damn. Shit, Josh. Fuck. Anyway, so
what is this? Hold on. What is that? $39.95.
Josh Harden.
Epically awesome.
Yep. All right. So Josh Harden. So you guys know who Josh Harden is.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, you need to look him up. And that's all I'm going to say because he's not paying me. I have to pay him enough, so I'm not paying. No, not doing it. But look him up, Josh Harden, and tell him Ant-Man sent you. Blow up his inbox. It'll be funny as shit.
Just say the words epically awesome.
Epically awesome. On his
So he
Facebook
copyrighted
page.
a phrase, and every time you use it, you
$39.95.
He told me $39.95, right?
Yeah.
And it's just been rolling
Really?
ever since.
So how far in the hole are you right now?
Every show
Like, he might
since
as
last
well-
year. So I figured
Might as well write a blank check.
And
Okay.
I basically started doing it just because you said so, and I was just like, you know.
Hold on. No, instead of the $39.95 or whatever, why don't you just put a jar right here? And
Like a
every
swear
time,
jar?
Yeah, and every time you say it, you drop a coin down
The
in the
Josh
jar.
Harden jar.
The
And when it's,
epically
and when
awesome
it's
jar.
done,
Epically broken on my iPhone. Go poof.
That's what
You
they
hear
make
that?
cases for.
yeah, I would do that. I would drop a coin in there and then turn that into him and say, "This is your payment. You're
Right.
$39.95."
Yeah.
Unless he's a stickler and he has like a running tally every time the show's on.
Yeah.
Okay, 73.
Right.
Right.
Bet she's one of those
He
guys.
probably is.
So, Zoo Trippin', we're hanging out with Lynn and Tony. Boys, you guys are fucking awesome, dude. I've seen you guys so
Thanks.
many times. Blues, rock, and funk. A little bit of this, a little bit of
That's
that.
a mixture.
Like,
We get weird.
Let's put it lightly.
so, how long have you guys been Zoo Trippin'?
Yeah, I guess we were originally Zoo Trip, but we had a bunch of member exchanges and a bit of a rebranding, and came back as Zoo Trippin'. What was it, October 2014?
2014 or 2015, one of those.
Yeah, we released our first EP as Zoo Trippin', called Kids These Days, in April of 2015.
Right on. And so, how, like, from oldest to youngest, like, I would say having that many members in a band, eclectic age, and diversity with music. You know, so how early was your guys' earliest member, like, in music? Were you guys in music in high school and stuff like that, like influences throughout your life, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was in high school bands and whatnot growing up, along with our former rhythm guitarist. He just got married and moved to New York for quite some time, but we all actually went to the same high school.
Oh, wow.
For the most part.
Yeah, we
Now-
didn't really like hang out or know each other.
But then Drew moved, so now we have Zach Ponser from
Yeah.
Sassafras playing guitar with us. And then Austin is going out on a venture, so we're actually getting a new bassist as well.
Yeah, in the process of auditions currently, actually.
So if any of the viewers want to audition for the band, where can they? Have you guys doing auditions for like open people? Or are they gonna hit you up the schedule?
Yep,
You can contact us at our Zootrippin Gmail, which is
zootrippin@gmail.com or Facebook or whatever. We're on all the social webs or
All the interwebs. Speaking of interwebs, Derek, the Admiralty. What's this with Skynet, bro?
God.
What is this?
You had to go with the Skynet,
had to
didn't
go
you?
with the
You
Skynet
had
thing.
to.
Yeah, like we're gonna talk about that later in the show.
Jesus.
But I wanted to call him on that, so I'm not getting off topic, I assure you. But I was like, God damn, I want to hit this guy for that. So talk about, man, like, how does this work? Also, sometimes featuring Ethan, Jake, JJ, Alex, Scott, Corey, second page, David. I want to make sure Nada.
Nada.
Okay, Neil and Metro and Hafrican.
Yeah, we when we started playing as the rebranded outfit Zootrippin', we definitely have a very set sound that we can pull off as anywhere from a 2-piece to a 5-piece standard. Normally, it's like a 4 or 5-piece show, just your basic rock outfit.
yeah, kind of blues rocky.
Yeah, but then we realized that there's so many good players in Columbus, and whenever we would go into the studio and start recording, we like to put a little ear candy on different things and have some backup singers, have some MCs, have some horn
Never
sections.
restrict ourselves by like, well, can we always reproduce this live? Well, if we write a bunch of different types of songs, you know, we don't always have to play our funk ones when we don't have our horn guys. You know what I mean?
Right. And we do find a way to play everything live, but we don't restrict ourselves in that sense that we feel like, oh, well, if we've got these guys, we can play with them. If we don't, we don't, because we have a big enough library to do so. But it's really great to be able to just pull from anybody in the city and do this type of stuff. Like when you're talking about Nada. Nada's actually somebody who's on, I believe, all of our records.
Every single one of them, yeah.
And she sings backup. She sings beautifully, but she's actually a nurse. You know, like she's putting off her singing career so she could pursue her nursing career. So we've got people like Neil, who has been on also every single one of our records, and he's in a band called Scotch Redemption.
He plays trombone.
Pretty awesome band.
Nice.
I've seen that
Great
band.
band.
They are wonderful.
Phenomenal.
They are.
But he's actually in a position where he's having a situation where he can't even play the trombone anymore. He had that surgery that happened, and they had to remove a lot of that. So now he's got to find another instrument to play. He can't talk anymore.
Prayers for Neil,
Sorry to hear
who's
that.
currently
It's
recovering.
Wow.
So shout out Neil,
Sorry to hear
because
that.
he's
Yeah, man.
G'd up from the feet up. It's unbelievable how overwhelmingly positive this guy is. Like he's like, you know what, I'll pick up cello. You know,
Fuck yeah. That's what you got to do, though. I
Right.
mean,
he's G'd up from the feet up, man.
yeah.
Nice.
So, Siobhan, you got some interesting stories.
I do.
What do you got?
Well, let's go with Alexa calling the cops on a man who allegedly was beating his girlfriend. Let's start with that. 'Cause-
You know what this is
who's
going to tie
Alexa?
into,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You
that's
know
exactly
exactly
why
where
she
this is
picked her.
going. Exactly where this is going.
So, a New Mexico man was arrested for allegedly beating his girlfriend and threatening to kill her after Amazon's Alexa called the police on him.
Amazon's Alexa, so that's like the app.
Yeah,
The
like,
app, yeah.
like the app.
The little
yeah.
talk
pod
box.
you pay
So,
$35
well,
for.
no,
It's like
they-
if Jarvis called the cops. Like,
Yeah,
I got a
so-
legitimate bitch. Hold on, before you get into this, Josh Harden, how come on Amazon right now those little dots are like cheaper than the rights I have to pay you? Like the
'Cause
dots.
it's Prime Day, bitch.
Oh yeah, good call.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boom.
Love
I've
Friday.
actually been all about it. I got a
It's
record.
like almost better than Christmas, man.
It's kind of awesome.
It's kind of fucking great. I love it.
Oh, I'm addicted
it
to
sucks
Amazon.
that I don't have money right now.
so clarify. How did Alexa call the cops, right?
Yeah, so-
yeah, clarify that, because I'm totally sucked into this right now.
So basically, he and his girlfriend were having an argument. She got a text message that he thought she was cheating. And during the assault on her, he was waving a gun and threatened to kill her before he allegedly asked, "Did you call the sheriff?" So the question, the question was inadvertently picked up by the smart speaker, and the voice-powered virtual assistant recognized the phrase as a command, prompting it to call 911.
Okay. Can I ask you a quick question? This is going to bother me if I don't. So if it caught that phrase right there, would it catch sexual phrases as well?
It actually
has
does.
before.
Like in the middle of the
Has.
act, you
Yes.
know? It's like, would you like me to buy anal lube? Like, no, shut
Yes,
that off.
actually, yes.
That is awful.
Yeah, that's why they tell you all the time and warn you all the time. Make sure you check your settings. And like kids have ordered
Yeah.
like $500 doll houses. And,
Oh.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, so he basically called the cops on himself, more or less, without even trying.
So I mean, how does that really like? When they show up, like, "Hey, I heard you're beating your wife."
A robot called and
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, so, basically they got the call and, because it works. It was attached to the landline, so because
what does the call sound like? Is it a text message?
yeah,
or
is it a
call?
robot voice or what is it?
it
No means
doesn't-
no. Like this.
Right?
Very analog.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say. It just says it's unclear whether the speaker was connected
Recalculating.
Yeah, it says it's unclear whether the speaker was connected to an Amazon Echo or an Echo Dot device, but Alexa, the virtual assistant Alexa, was connected to a landline in the home, and that's how it ended up being able to call.
That sucks.
So this guy was already beating her.
They don't
And then the robot called the cops.
Yeah.
So shout out
Well,
Alexa.
Shout out
Beating
Alexa,
her,
right?
yes, allegedly beating her, which he, probably was. I don't
Tomorrow's
know.
headline would be like Alexa receives award stopping white trashery.
White trashery.
Well, like the quote will be like, "At least you didn't grab her by her Like, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I
you went
mean,
there.
Yeah,
Loading.
You went
and
there.
loading.
Yeah, let's just remember this story for when we're all talking about AI rights here in like
Right.
20,
Right,
30
yep.
years. Be like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the sheriff's department did say the unexpected use of this new technology to contact emergency services has possibly helped save a life. The amazing technology definitely helped save a mother and her child from a very violent situation.
Wow.
Until the technology wants to kill you.
Who's that?
Wow.
Wow.
Just like what is that? Wasn't there like a what a Stephen King book, Maximum Overdrive or something?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Right.
Never saw it.
I was
We're
out
gonna-
there
we're gonna-
screaming Emilio.
We're gonna get some clips for that next week's show, for Thursday's show. It's gonna be hilarious.
Just dub it in.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out to Nightwolf Concert Promotions, man, for this awesome ticket giveaway we have. We have 2 tickets to Turn It Up 10 Fest for August 4th. And here's the trick, though. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is a YouTube unique contest only. And the trick is that basically, well, Siobhan, why don't you're so much prettier. Why don't you do it?
Gee, thanks.
Yeah. And you're the intern, so do it.
Yeah. Let's be real. That's why.
Douche.
So to be able to enter, you have to be a member of the YouTube channel. And go to the YouTube channel. We have a comment posted that you can go and make your reply to. And basically, if you are a Saving Abel fan and have been to one of their shows, we want to know what your best memory is and what show you were at that it's from. And if you have never seen them but you're a fan, we want to know what song
The new
you've
guy making
heard.
noise in the
No,
background.
right?
I'm
Come
not,
on.
no, I'm not taking the fall for that one. I will not take the fall for that one.
me.
All right, go ahead,
Throw your
Siobhan.
shit away.
No, they both looked at me. Sorry.
So if you've never been to a show, we want to know what song you heard that made you a Saving Abel fan and why. So the cutoff is going to be July 25th, and then we will pick a winner live on the show on the 27th, just to make sure you have some time to get off work.
Right, yeah, because a lot of people are like, well, what if I don't have time? I was like, dude, you drive while you're texting all the time. You can
Right.
you can click subscribe, and then you can make a comment, and somebody was like, well, what if I just put in a couple words? I was like, yeah, this isn't the Blitz.
Yeah, no, we
I was-
actually
I was like,
we will
you need to
actually
put
read
in-
them.
Shots fired.
Yeah, you need to put in real content, like what you really honestly care. Like, we want to hear the genuine fans from Saving
Yeah.
Abel, because Saving Abel and Autograph are both watching this feed. So they're actually watching the interaction between the fans, and who
Wow.
knows, the lucky winner might actually get a chance to meet Saving Abel and Autograph live at the show.
So we're not in the running for this at all.
So,
Nope.
like, no,
That
no.
sucks.
Mm-mm.
That really
Yep.
sucks. By the way, just really quick, I already got a text message from Paul that says you owe me a CD and a T-shirt, please.
Yep.
Just that quick. Now it's can I have? Now it's you owe me.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that was
for-
quick.
For $42.95, Paul.
If you don't mind, can I
Getting
please have a
rather
T-shirt?
demanding.
You owe me a T-shirt now.
Right.
So I got a special treat for you guys, man, from Zoo Trippin' and the power of email.
The
Like,
internet
And Dropbox.
So yeah, in Dropbox. Yeah.
used for more things than porn.
Hashtag Dropbox. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Sometimes.
Upgrade today.
Sometimes.
So what'd you guys end up sending over, man? Because this is new stuff, and
Oh, it's a
this has
virus.
Never been
Did
heard
you open?
before.
Oh wait, no. Did you open it yet? Or-
Yeah, I was like,
It's a
wondering
virus.
Japanese porn all blacked out, like.
Whoa.
I was like,
Actually,
whoa.
the beginning of
Hey, some of
Skynet.
us like
It's
tentacles, all
interesting.
right.
Yeah. Just point and shoot.
No, this is a song off of our new record. The record's called Purple. The song is Savage.
And when, where, and how, and all that can they get that album? Because that album's awesome, and they need to get it.
The album itself is out. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Google Play, all of those things.
All the internet.
We have CDs, and in a few weeks, we'll have 12-inch vinyl LPs.
Wow, that's
That is
cool. Man.
exclusive.
That's
Sweet.
really cool.
We're
That's
taking
awesome.
pre-orders now
Really
at
excited.
on our Facebook page. Just shoot us.
We
a,
got our
a
test prints
message.
of those vinyls the
I
other day.
want,
I got
I want an
emotional
autographed
listening.
one.
I
from,
bet.
I want an autographed one for the wall for the studio.
I'll
Yeah.
put you on the
Sure,
list.
like-
And the cool thing is, they're actually purple records.
That's
Wow,
so
man.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's really cool.
And the artwork was done by Adam Gilbert of Starset.
Wow.
shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Who we
Noted.
also went to school with.
Right. All right, guys. So we're gonna get into this right here. Brand new stuff. Savage. Let's get it.
can't take me anywhere. Yeah, okay, good day, I'm well aware. What's behind that cold blank stare? Sorry, not sorry, I party, don't care. And I could move Earth's mountains with only just my rage. Trying to stay so steady, clench my teeth, the pen, the page. Too much salt of the earth deep in your eyes. The day he changes, I'll be explaining those highs. God help that boy. I'm quite the addict. I've gotta have it. Give me it all of the time. Quick like a rabbit. And I'm a savage. Stalk like a native. Baggage for days, talk like a maid, walk like a maid. Oh, baby. Too much salt of the earth deep in your eyes. The day he changes, I'll be explaining those highs. God help that boy. Stain my brain, unholy veins. The antidote was promised to work, but I came too late. I was born this way, no choice I made. That's no excuse, boy, I'm through. Chasing you in shadows, you know what you wanna do. You're crazy. looking out for the real thing. As being shapes me into what I'll be.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hi,
Hello,
hi.
hello.
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 Well, hello, Clarice.
Hello, Jerry. Could you hear them screaming?
So we have a new guest we changed out.
I was
Lynn's-
going to say Lynn turned into
I'm
a female.
Lynn.
What the hell happened?
the new Lynn.
That's the new Lynn. Lynn 2.0.
The-
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Damn it.
So we're hanging out with the Admiralty, and we're hanging out with Zoo Trippin', and we have a very, very special guest who's actually been hanging out behind the scenes.
I have.
So how are you doing, my dear?
I'm good. My name's Tierra.
Hi, Tierra.
TRD photo by, I guess, AKA.
By trade.
Where can they
Fair
find
enough.
you?
TRDphoto.com,
Perfect.
Facebook, Instagram.
All the
web.
fixins.
All the
YouTube.
fixins. So what do you do that's so special, my dear? You have a lot of
I put
awesome
cameras
talents.
in people's faces.
I've done my
mostly.
research, so you've got some pretty awesome work out
I
there.
appreciate that. Well, I follow these crazy psychos around, so
That's a chore
that
and
was
a half.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
January?
Well, you do more than that.
January?
Well,
I
yeah,
do
since,
more than
since
that.
about
I mean,
January. You do.
I've been following them since January, but other than that, I do music videos, a lot of band photos, portraits, weddings.
How long have you been
Anything
in
with
it?
the camera.
How long have you been in?
7 years.
Yeah.
I
What's
think.
some good bands that you shot? Some big ones, so people are like,
Zoo
I
Trippin'.
know that. Oh, well, thank you.
Awesome.
You mean like
don't have
just
to
in
grease the
general?
wheels.
Okay, let me think. Cake, Man Kim, LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg, Brand New, Modest Mouse.
It's a pretty big name.
There's just a lot.
Nice.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Nice.
happening.
So
It's fun though.
So you basically have had a chance to follow these awesome gentlemen around with a camera, and documentary, like that word is not a small word.
It really is.
There's a lot of, I mean, you know, there's a lot of
There's
work,
a lot of documentaries now.
and there is.
It's a good thing.
But I mean, none like this.
Good thing.
None like this. I don't think.
Yeah, I think music documentaries should happen more. A lot of the ones you see are of bands that are either dead or older band, which is no problem. All of our favorite documentaries are probably about
Sure. People are
Fucking-
deceased.
Led
Right.
Zeppelin or like Jimi Hendrix or something anyway. But I think there's a lot to be seen, and what you guys have already talked about tonight about evolving communities and different fan bases and how to get bars to pay you. And these are things, there's a bunch of kids sitting around going, oh my God, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we organize this? How do we run social media? How do we, and I think a music documentary, even a short film, it's just great to see the inner workings of a band. I mean, most of this band lives together. It's just crazy when you really see that. And like, I didn't know them super well before we started.
yeah.
this.
Did you
Not-
come in
like,
here with
not
a
at
sales
all.
pitch?
No.
Because you kind of talked me into just in that moment, like,
Right.
we need to
Yeah.
drop everything we're doing and start filming right now.
Well, there you go. And
that's
it's
what
not
we've
like
literally,
a
that's what
marketing
that-
play at all. It's just
we've
No,
really
that was
felt like
that was
that, though.
merely a joke. I was joking
But I-
about
but
that,
I
but
get
that
it. It is
just hearing it
about-
said that way, it's like, wow, you're so right.
Right. Well, I mean, even bands, if you look at it, the video is like taking over, I think, in comparison to photography. I mean, photography's great. You're freezing a moment, but a video shows you the moment.
Right.
So when you guys, 10 years later, even if you don't continue in music, even if you put the instruments down, you're going to be sitting around old as fuck going, man, I wish I had a video from that one time. Then, you
Right,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
So are you doing like snippets of them at practice, them writing, the
What haven't we
fighting
done?
stuff that goes on between bands,
Man,
all that
we
kind of
did
stuff?
We did this pretty crazy. We kind of went in with like no plan in a way. It was kind of just follow us to Starbucks, follow us to the studio.
It was like we were going to just document making an album, and then it turned into just a general about our lives and her life and
what
then the
happened
people around
from
us.
January to June, basically.
Yeah, and it's just been completely insane. There's been a lot of like deaths and different people
nuts.
joining and leaving the band.
But we did
and-
take the MTV approach. There are confessionals. There are moments where these dudes, they're locked away in a room by themselves, and they get to just spill. And there's
is
some
awesome.
gems. There's some gems in there.
I was about
will
to say that's
Yeah.
kind of exciting, just
Absolutely.
you and the camera, just
There's
say what
some
you want to say,
gems.
and
Here's the
It's
unique
kind of
thing.
therapeutic.
The
I would believe it.
The kicker thing for that would be to know if have you guys seen it? Do you guys even know like each of
No.
you
Not
like
a lot.
No, I mean, like we've seen little like promotional videos that she makes
Right.
out of it. Like, I can't wait to see the one where I'm like grabbing the guy's ass in that bathroom.
Oh my god.
I just randomly, I thought I knew who he was.
and that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I followed him.
That
in
was
the
you.
bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I followed
and
everywhere.
this is why
There's
she's
no-
great to work
yeah,
with because
there's
I'm
no
like, T,
limit.
follow me down into this dungeon, this basement.
And
We're
there's
gonna go
no
to this
hesitation.
bathroom in this bar. She's like, let's go with her
I'm
camera.
Right.
So when that guy turns around and he sees me pinching his ass, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's not the weirdest thing that's ever happened. And then he sees her with the full blown camera rig. And he's like, now this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened.
And I think I said like I didn't get your dick or like something like that.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
wasn't
all
feeling
right,
your dick,
yeah.
like, it was-
That's fucking
I'm
hilarious.
so sorry.
There's a lot of moments.
And
in
we
it.
did not get waiver releases either. I'm like
Yeah,
slipping.
that was
We
rough.
didn't
If-
get waiver
We're gonna have to
releasers,
blur out his face,
like,
and
at
the guy at the coffee shop would definitely have to blur out his face.
I think we should.
You should
No.
do
We'll blur
Donald
out his
Trump.
face.
You should do
Sued.
Donald Trump's face. I know
Yeah, we could do that.
We could.
Like
We could put anyone's face on there.
Yeah.
Let's just
But-
pick
Yeah.
the most hated person in Columbus and just put their face on every
can think of
person.
a
Well,
Well, hold on. All right, we're not gonna say it. We're not gonna say
We're
it.
not doing that. No, no,
If
no.
Steve Hatmaker was
But we
here.
know. But we know.
Yeah.
Some
I think-
inside jokes.
Yeah, we got some segment jokes. That's
I
hilarious.
do like being able to have just general footage of what we're doing though, because of like what you were saying, where it's like, well, we should start filming now. There were so many times when we were sitting around our house like, there's so much crazy shit happening in our personal lives aside from the actual shows and stuff that we should be filming this. You know, like
Yeah.
I think that
there's
grows a
times I would
bond.
leave
I'm sorry.
5 minutes away. Like 5 minutes I left and there's a fight and I missed it.
oh yeah, that's
Like,
how I
if
got the
that's happened,
scar,
it's
and I got the
terrible.
scar in the back of my
Sorry to
head.
interrupt you.
No, no, no. I was talking over you. I'm a rude asshole.
you're
apparently.
fine.
No, it is a bonding thing though. You're right about that.
No, I think that's awesome. That connects, the fans with you guys. They feel like they know you when they're done watching.
And I really feel like it's built a relationship with me and Tierra here because like we've known each other from the general scene where she shot a lot of the bands that we played with, and her girlfriend is actually in a band or was in a band that we played with a lot, and now she's branching off and doing her own thing. So we knew her a little bit more before, and then we got to know her, and it's been really
Because Worst
great.
Kept Secret Fest was probably
Right, that might have been the first time we met,
Great
but it's
fest,
been a
by
very
the way.
like
Great
intimate
fucking fest,
experience.
by the
Oh,
way.
dude, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like she used to be one of the heads of Worst Kept Secret Fest,
I
actually.
helped them do some things.
Some things.
Some things.
Some
Making
things.
some moves.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to be able to make an intimate relationship with the people who are maybe not even able to see the shows, where they can have a viewing kind of relationship, just like how they can listen to the music at home, but also just between the band and the band itself, the band and Tierra. Like we even had situations where we would go to places, and I never had to feel like, oh, I should church myself up a little bit. I should like put on clothes, like people clothes. But like,
Just a fanny pack.
like we went to pick up a paycheck one time at a Express Live, and when we were walking in, I'm wearing like boots and pajama pants and stuff, and she's filming, and everybody that saw us was like, "Who are these two people? They should not be in the
Right.
LC right now, or Express Live or whatever. You know, like this is all.
This is a
empty.
restricted area.
You know, they're setting up for
you
some
don't
show.
have VIP pass.
Right, yeah. We're like, don't worry, we're just here to pick up a paycheck. And then, like, we went upstairs and picked up the paycheck and then came back down, talked to a few people, like, don't worry, we're supposed to be here. And as we were walking out, I remember my favorite part of it was, like, looking back at the camera and being like, one of these days we're going to play that stage, you know. And what was good about having that footage is like, 2 or 3 months later, we were lucky enough to actually play at Express Live. So now we can have the footage be, like, cut out, fade to black, and then 2 or 3 months later or whatever.
Right, there's your footage of you guys playing.
Yeah. Right. So what do you see, coming from your standpoint, doing what you do for the band, what do you suggest to other videographers and other people out there that are sitting back like, wow, you know, I got this gear, I got this camera, and I really want to take this shot, but what do you say to those people?
Get off your ass.
Yeah.
Do it.
Simple. This year's been crazy for me. Like, I've been following them around. I played my second show live with Lynn. Actually, was in the band with me. Did a brand new cover band.
It was an all-girl thing for the most part,
right? Yeah, it was, and it was honestly just mainly for fun. But it's the year of kind of like don't hold back. You know what I mean? Like, I just turned 30. I don't want to like regret. You know what I mean? I want to do stand-up comedy set. I want to do all this stuff. Like, what's stopping you? I guess is my advice is just shoot. Just like music. Play.
Right.
You don't have anyone to play with or shoot with, go outside and find something, you know, because chances are you're going to find somebody walking around doing the same thing you're doing.
Right.
And I've done that numerous times, just linked up with different photographers, different filmers, just on the street, just like you would if you're at Guitar Center playing some sweet Mississippi riff, because we know that's all people play when they go to Guitar Center. And then they see like some other people, and then they're like, "Oh, this fucking guy's cool."
Right.
So it's one of those things. People get the gear, but learn how to fucking use it. That's my advice number 2.
I watched a impromptu jam session the other day at Guitar Center, dude. This black dude come in, grabbed a guitar, a microphone, and walked over and grabbed a saxophone, sat down, and just kind of plugged it in, you know, demoing it out. This other guy comes in, grabs this guitar, and walks over to the sax guy and looks at him. They make eye contact, and they start kind of just playing around. The dude comes over with those electric drums, and an electric drum set, and starts putting in some drum. I was like, this is really fucking happening right now. Like, this is going to be awesome. And, like, 2 other people come out, and then a Guitar Center associate comes out with an acoustic guitar. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Like, I was like, whoa. And I started filming it, and the one guy comes over and was like, what are you going to do with that?
It's none of your business,
like,
first off.
I'm
We're
gonna
just
make
enjoying the moment.
I'm
You
gonna
just
make
ruined
you
it.
famous. Like, I'm gonna make you famous. No, but so speaking of famous, Siobhan,
Yes.
you have a story, and I would love to involve T and Tony and Josh and Derek in on this. What do you got?
Wait, which one is that? Oh, is that the one you were talking about being
Jesus.
famous?
Yes.
You
Yes.
didn't even look.
Yes.
That's what I figured. It took me a second. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Fired.
So, we all know who Pablo Escobar is, right? The
Yes.
famous coke
Yes.
dealer who's dead. Yeah. So apparently now you can rent a room in his mansion. Yeah. How about that? Because that's where everybody
Does
wants
it have
to go.
drugs inside?
You know,
Hidden
The
compartment.
only time I'm gonna go there.
I guarantee you, if you looked hard enough, you could probably find drugs in that.
It
Floors
is
are
the
made of
most
cocaine.
intense scavenger hunt you will ever be
Right.
on in your life.
That's
Right.
a great place to take on a honeymoon.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Honey, we're going to search for Coke the whole entire time we're here. It's fabulous. I've
Right.
been here twice.
I've been here twice.
Yeah,
That's worth
so-
losing the deposit at that point.
Right?
Do they have a price estimate or?
Yeah, so it starts at $509 a night, and the guest can spend a night in the stunning property, which used to belong to him.
Better have drugs.
And
For
right,
$509 a night.
No, 509 pesos probably.
Well, what's that?
Oh.
that's
what's that
way
American?
more.
Well, that's only
affordable.
$3.85. I think.
yeah,
America.
Yeah.
Kidding. That's
no,
totally wrong.
No, it says
it is.
$509, so definitely U.S.
So I bet you what it is like with the scavenger.
That's
you,
with intent to find cocaine.
yeah. No, you
Like-
put
Right.
down the 509 with the intent to find the hidden drugs, so you can take the drugs and sell them back to the hotel to reimburse yourself.
Right.
Well, this was fun.
It all sounds like a cop trap. Like these cops are
Yep.
probably just posted up outside this hotel,
As
like
soon as
waiting
you
for them to
check
leave.
out,
Like, hey, are you looking?
Come here.
Right.
I bet you $5 you got cocaine in your pocket, okay? I promise.
DEA, bitch, freeze! Damn it!
Just grab her by her. No.
Well,
no.
honey, we're going to
That's
Gitmo.
twice.
Yeah,
That's
that's
twice.
twice. That's twice. No, that's a shout out to Photo Nation AP, my man David Sheets. He is doing a lot of the things for a studio here, and you even hear his beautiful voice in the opening of the show. So he also works with Muddy Creek and a number of other awesome places. I'm going to give a shout out to Rocky X13, Rocky X TV to be exact. Go ahead, check his own channel out, man. Do-it-yourselfer from, like, mad scientist, Jeeps type shit, all the way to, like, I don't know, if you have a question, you can actually contact him via his YouTube, and he'll do it for you. Do the video, teach you how to do it, and go through the steps with you. So if you have battles, hit up Rocky. He'll take care of you, definitely.
Word.
But as well, cbdhemphealth.com, my man Joe. Go ahead and give him a call, 614-407-4420, cbdhemphealth.com. And my man Ryan Woods of Raw Designs, designsbyraw.com for all that awesomeness. And again, like I said, we're hanging out here, Antman Verses. We got about 40 minutes or so. We're hanging out with Tony. We're hanging out with T. We're hanging out with Josh and Derek.
Yo, what up?
So when we come back here, so at the tail end of the show, guys, we do something called Douchebag Criminals. And this is where we find two criminals who are just totally...
Love it.
Absolutely wasting our space.
Love it.
And we talk about how stupid they are. And we're going to have them live here for you.
Wait, the actual
We're
douchebag
actually
criminals.
bringing
are
the
like,
criminals.
They're bringing them right here.
they're like,
Yeah,
hello,
no.
I'm here for the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway.
I've actually got something better for you. I actually got their pictures for the show for the guests this time because last time they were like, I want to see proof. So now I got the two douchebag criminals like
Is
right
one of them the
there.
picture behind you of the crackhead who signed that picture?
Oh.
I know who that crackhead is. I got
Oh.
that same picture in my house, man.
Yeah, right.
It's totally a photocopied one.
Did I? Oh no, we got an actual signed one from him, and then he
I
did
got
an
actual
introduction for
signed
our
one.
band.
It's actually signed, but the
like
pictures.
The photo, yeah.
photo.
Yeah, it's totally a photocopy, and he just signs them.
We got a. I guess you're right. That's probably exactly what I have. Then is photocopy that, and he signs it, and then you give him a crack rock, and then he leaves. But like when he did that,
Wow.
Alex Burnside's got him to do a announcement for our band where he's like,
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Williams, the voice of Zoo Trip in America.
Why does that sound almost just like?
Craft, what is it?
You just
Craft
took his
cheese and
career.
cigarettes.
He took his career. It's gone.
Wow.
I ran into him at UDF about 2 weeks ago, actually, off Hudson.
What'd you give him?
Nothing. I was way too stoned, and like he said hello to me. He's like hello, and I just looked at him and just like walked away. I just think.
Did you know 2 pints for $1?
That was like, I give no fucks about you right now. Okay.
Wow.
He's probably a great guy. I just was.
He is when he's not
I was
high.
fighting
He's
with
nice when he's
Jasmine.
not
I was
high.
kind of just like, don't talk to me.
but extra one free.
Right. He is
He might
nice.
work for UDF. That might
So
be
I
good.
got this brand new song right here from Dread Engine. It's called "Bad to You," and I think this is gonna go good with this right here, this little segment.
I
Right
like Dread Edge.
So we're gonna get into this right here, "Bad to You," right here, brand new stuff.
wanna give you everything that you've ever asked. Now that you're really gone, and I finally wrote you a song. No, you're not really here to truly see just how sincere. Now that you're really gone, and I finally wrote you a song. Never knew what I had. I promise I'll never be there to you again. Oh,
Hey, this is Josh.
This is Mike.
This is Jordan.
This is Derek. We're the Admiralty, and you're listening to Antman Verses.
Suffocating babies! There we go! You mama! It was sure to stop the streets like an ad wonder! Advice from the white hater! You wanna save the country? Kill all the teenagers! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up!
I strikes like Richard Pryor's afro on fire. I get Molly Hop, my pentagram is live wired. I'm a liar, I'm a cheat, I'm a filthy handed thief.
Fuck your life! Fuck your beliefs! I'm a dragon! Breathe fire thing! It's like the kraken! Your skin starts to blacken! So raise your fist if you'll piss the rubber song! Look to the sky and you'll see God is gone! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up! Turn the heat up! Turn the fucking heat up!
There you go, guys. Some Gudger. I love that long wail right there. And you want to know something really funny about that song, dude? It is exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it's called Spark It Up. You think they planned that shit on purpose?
Crack?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding.
Williams.
I'm not understing the reference.
No, it's okay. I know.
I don't get the reference.
I know you don't. It's cool.
What is that 710 dab?
There used to be a convenience store somewhere.
Oh man! So we're hanging out live with the Admiralty, Zoo Trippin', and Miss T, if I may.
Okay.
May I call you
Tierra
Miss
D
T?
photo.
Sure.
Right on.
Why not?
All right, and we're hanging out with Siobhan, and Siobhan does something special every week for us, and she does horoscopes.
Ooh.
You guys ready for those?
Yeah. Wow.
Tell me my future.
Wow.
So I always give the today's birthday one for anybody who's got their birthday today.
It's my brother's birthday. My younger brother's birthday
Well,
today.
here we go. So
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
happy
Jordash.
birthday, and here's your horoscope. Mars is your sign. Mars in your sign makes you hugely competitive, which is good, but there is danger in that. You could go too far over the coming 12 months and make enemies of people who could have been your friends. You win.
We were just about getting deep right there, and all of a sudden you just get the chipmunk.
He always
chuckle.
does that.
That's the
to
sound
me.
I make when I'm
Always.
having sex.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, kitty.
And the rest of that is you win best when you win as part of a team.
Good Lord.
How about it?
Is that anywhere accurate about your brother, like at all?
Not
think?
no.
No?
Not even close.
Not even close.
Nope.
Sometimes
I knew
they're
one
right,
of you guys was
sometimes
going to
they're
ask that.
wrong.
I knew it was
The
coming.
stars
She beat
are
me
not
to it. She
aligned.
beat me to it. So I also like to read anyone we have on the show. And during the break, I found out that Tony and Tierra, you are both a Capricorn. So for the two of you, it is.
We're TNT.
Let's see here.
Dynamite.
So someone will offer you the kind of deal that only a fool would turn down, but
The devil.
hold on.
Right.
Right?
I knew it.
But hold on.
Excuse me,
The planets
Satan?
warn that it may not. The planets warn that it may not be as attractive a proposition as they are trying to make it out. Do some research before you say yes.
It's just like that episode of Rick and Morty where he's like selling all those goods. It's the devil.
Wow.
You guys are going to get a record deal offer, and it's going to be some like, we'll fly you guys and me out to LA, only if we blank.
Ooh, Willie likes that.
You know he likes that in the back of a limousine.
Oh shit! I love sound effects, man.
So
I'm gonna give a shout out to Simpsons Tapped Out, by the way. If you guys haven't had a chance to play that game on Android, iPhone,
He's
and
totally addicted.
It's
It's like all he does.
What are you staring at me for? It's like
Yeah.
that was the we're about to make love
Simpsons.
look.
We
Don't
are.
do that.
We
Don't
are.
do that.
You need to get
Cue
this.
chipmunk chuckle.
Right? Yeah.
He looked right into my eyes. That was that like awkward stare. Too long.
Willie likes that.
So we're hanging out. What else you got left, Siobhan?
So the Leo for Josh.
Yes.
So
Okay, here we
Lady
go.
Luck will smile on you from an unexpected direction. You may be a bit suspicious that you are being singled out for so much good fortune, but don't turn down a chance to make extra money or move ahead in your career.
Right.
And let's see.
So quit my job.
Yeah.
Whatever comes my way.
If
Listen
that's
to
what
the
you
moon.
take from it.
Whatever comes my way.
Listen to the New York Post.
I'll be washing windshields on Maine
Yeah.
next week.
Right. I got this picture for.
Oh.
Chippendales, join them and call yourself Captain Geach.
Oh,
Oh.
And Derek, yours is a Taurus.
Don't mess with the bull, my man.
Which-
You'll get the horns.
For 2 weeks, you're mine.
2 weeks, I gotcha.
So your brain is buzzing with all sorts of interesting ideas at the moment, any one of which could be your ticket to fame and fortune. Will your next big idea be the one that changes the world? There is every reason to believe that it could be.
Well.
Oh my God.
My mind is afoot with inspiration.
And of course, because you know you never get out of it. Virgo for ant.
They don't care.
Someone will point out where you have been going wrong today, and if you are smart, you will listen and learn. Put your ego to one side, stand back from your current situation, and see the wisdom in what they are trying to tell you.
You should probably put the papers on the other side.
What is that?
Yep, that's what I think of that. That's what I think
And
of that.
last but not least, myself and my fellow Gemini over there hanging out with us still, Lynn.
Mr. Lynn Roos.
You need to go over the idea that you have to be the life and soul of every party. Even a Gemini needs some quiet time once in a while. And if you feel your energy flagging today, you should back off a bit from social activities.
Stop existing!
Basically, you just need to stop existing. Like, that's basically what that means, right? Just stop. Just stop.
Just
we
stay over there. Just stay over there.
Can't stop, won't stop.
We can't. We just go. It's what we do.
So speaking of going and going and going, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the YouTube channel who's hanging out with us right now, man. Jordan, I need a what?
I need a Ryan.
I need a Ryan.
Now,
I need a Ryan.
hold on real quick.
You're finally gonna get a stick in her pooper.
I don't understand what that means at all.
You're finally gonna get to stick it in her pooper.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, Ryan is the dude producing our record.
Yes.
Got you.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I need a
Big-
Ryan.
big pooper
I
fan?
guess.
No. All right. I'm going to get cut really hard for this. It's a run-on joke with my wife that just one time I want to do it. Just once, just to say I did it.
It's my birthday.
Nope, that would never happen. I mean, I could walk in with a briefcase with $1 billion in it, and it's not happening.
Man, you give me $1 billion. Shit.
Right. I've had multiple offers for that, but she won't go for it. So it's
I
a
don't
run-on
blame
joke.
her, actually. I've said for years, one-way exit. Like,
I mean, that's the standpoint. It really, really
you
is.
know, like, yeah.
I mean, okay.
All right.
You do it and see how you like it.
No, hold on.
My
That's
wife.
I
always
will
the
add.
There's a
exchange,
second
isn't
part
it?
to this.
I will add to that really quickly.
Turning tables.
Right.
That was always her thing. She's like, well, why don't you let me do it to you? I said, here it is. I'll go for it, but I'm going to go buy one of those mold your member kits, and I'm going to get what you're going to get. You're not going to go pick out whatever you want.
Some big swinging hammer. Just,
Right.
hey.
the big
The
old
Great
black
American,
one.
the Great American Challenge is not coming my way. It's going to be, yeah, dude, that thing is huge.
Oh
No
my
joke, the Great
God.
American Challenge.
No, it is not.
So they got this thing at waterbeds and stuff called the fist, and it comes in 3 different colors. It comes in
Sounds a lot like,
Caucasian, it comes in black, and it comes in tan, which I would only assume would be Mexican.
Must be a small fist.
It's no. So no, the funny thing is that around the holiday season they put everything on sale at waterbeds and stuff. We all know this. And
No, we don't.
Well, yeah, like they do the Christmas special thing that on the radio. Crazy Jerry does that thing on the radio.
Tell 'em
so-
Crazy Jerry sent ya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so basically, you go in and from like 8 to like midnight, you pick a percentage, and you get that percentage off of whatever you purchase in the store. So a lady,
100%.
Did you read his last comment? She's gonna fucking cut your dick off, bro.
Probably.
Yeah.
and
I'm sleeping in the garage tonight.
right, yeah, totally.
You might even not want to get out of the car when you get home.
Nope.
A little old lady come in and bought all of those huge fists that they sell at waterbeds and stuff for Christmas, and said that she's going to give them out to her sisters for Christmas gifts.
How many
Does she understand what they're for?
Yeah, I don't know, but I made sure as because I have a video camera, and in the back my boss sits in the back desk, so I made sure to take one out of the box and made sure I folded open the instructions, and I just was like, "Here you go. You
Slid
might
it to
need
her?
Yeah, I just slid it to her across the counter.
As a salesman, though, do you stop her? Like, this isn't what you think it is.
Well, I asked her.
No,
I
honey,
was like,
these are
"Do you-"
great.
Well, I worked there for the holiday season, and I was like, ma'am, I don't want to try to tell you what you're buying or how to buy any of your products.
But
But
no pun intended.
You look a little small for what you're. And she goes, "Oh no." She goes, "No, honey, no, honey." She was like, "I've been lubed up since 1978."
Oh,
And I go,
God.
"Oh shit!" And immediately in the back of my head, there's this little guy going, "Oh fuck, get out of this conversation. This is gonna go bad real fucking quick."
It already went
And
bad.
it already went.
It
Yeah,
already
I
went there.
I felt like Maverick in fucking Top Gun, like burning in this. Oh man, Goose, where are you, Goose? Like I
No,
felt
it was
totally.
already-
Help me out, buddy.
Yeah,
it was
there-
already downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's like, I've been lubed up since 1978, and then she follows up with, so what time do you get off work?
Oh.
And
Actually, I just quit. I'm gonna burn the building down on the way out of here.
well, I told her I was like, I have a vow of celibacy. I was like, I can't really, I can't do that.
In a
It's like
water
me,
pits and
me,
stuff?
me and
It's
God,
new.
me and the big guy upstairs got a relationship, but I think you'd
Right,
fuck
I'm-
it all up.
I'm holding off.
Oh man. So we're hanging out here with Admiralty and Zoo Trippin', and I said it before in the beginning of the show, man. But first and foremost, thank you guys for being awesome artists, musicians, and doing what you guys do in the local community, man. It is epically fucking awesome what you guys do.
Thank you.
Was that another? Was that? Yeah.
That was
It is
Okay.
$39.95.
another one.
Yeah, Josh Hardin.
2,332.
Yeah, you know, I figure, man, by the time that kicks in and he comes around he'll be famous himself. So I'll just be like, yo, can I borrow that money? Like, just give it right back to him.
Right.
So we're hanging out with the Admiralty, and you guys have had an interesting run as of late. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
How extensive you want to go?
Yeah.
Dive in.
Well, they talked about lineup and all the people that they invite on the stage and stuff. I think over the years in the bands that we've had together, that list would be members that have come and gone.
Yeah.
We met in 2012. Yeah, it's 2011.
11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, maybe we're wrong on the dates there, but anyway,
Somewhere around there.
I met Derek on my anniversary, on my wedding anniversary, which my wife was thrilled about that.
I bet.
I'm like, honey, we're gonna go to dinner, but first I got to stop and meet this guy. Okay, I swear, 5 minutes in and out.
Real quick.
My 5 minutes is 3 hours, and then the rest is history. So,
If that.
so we started Never Say Die together.
With Mark, a friend of yours from high school, Mark Daniels.
Mark Daniels, yep, he's actually in Arizona now. I think actually yep, he's on here now. Cool. So
Yep.
welcome, Mark.
I stretch. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mark and I were on the hunt to get a band going. We met Derek, and through nonsense member changes, we ended up with Michael Dtre on bass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal bass player.
Oh, yeah.
So we played around a while as Never Say Die, and we kind of disbanded.
Well, you've also forgot.
Well, Ryan.
One guy in the chat room
Yeah.
here, I Need a Ryan, was actually
Yeah.
our rhythm guitar player for a while.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm jumping ahead. I'm a little excited.
Good Lord.
We talked about fists and stuff, and now I'm all amped up. I don't even know where I'm at.
Get the big guy excited.
No, so we got Ryan on board playing guitar with us, and he ended up doing the Never Say Die record. And shortly thereafter, we kind of disbanded, and Mike and Derek continued.
We continued on, and Mike and I were sitting around going, okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go in a different direction. But both of us are looking at each other going, well, neither of us can play drums, and that's a problem. So we might want to figure that out. So I ended up texting a drummer that I had from a band even before I met Josh, and just touching base with him. I was like, yeah, I'm starting another band. Kind of need a drummer. He goes, funny you should say that. I'm moving back to Maryland from Maryland. I was like, you want to join? Sure. So Gabe Sapper joined the band, and it was the three of us, and then we got our first singer, Jason Schertzinger.
Fatty and Dare Bear.
Yeah, that's us.
Yep, that's us.
Right on. I saw that pop up right above his head. I was like, that's fucking great.
It's really right above your head.
Really?
Yeah, literally.
Fatty and Dare Bear.
But so Mike, myself, Gabe, and Jason, we were the first incarnation, if you will, that you met, Ant.
Yeah.
And we played for, I think it was like 2 years, something like that.
You guys are like just over 2 years, if I remember.
Something.
It wasn't quite 2.5, but it wasn't quite over.
Well, when was the first?
Why do you keep
summit?
squinting your eyes and looking at me like you're about to attack me in a sexual manner?
Can't stop after the fisting story.
I can't. I'm really like totally fucked up right now.
So going back though, when was the first summit show? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was pretty. That was like the big gig for us when we did that. Played a little bit more, and then, long story short, singer and drummer parted ways, and we got Jordan, our current singer now, about a month later.
He came from Mary Jane. If
Yeah,
anybody's
came from
familiar with
Mary
Mary
Jane.
Jane, that's where he
Yeah.
came from. So he had a good run with those guys for quite a few years.
And then again, we were needing a drummer, and so Mike and I were talking again, having the drummer conversation that neither of us can play drums, and we might want to remedy this situation. And we were like, well, what about Josh? When we were Never Say Die, and we're like, you think he'd do it? Yeah, he might. Let's just try it. And so I ended up calling him, and he's like, you know what? I think I'd like to give it another try, because like he said earlier in the show, he's been out for a
couple years.
Yeah. Which was then funny because he then agreed to it, and was it the first practice?
No, we hadn't even practiced
Okay.
yet. I'm going to take it just real quick. He called and we finalized everything. I'm going to be a part of this. He said, well, here's a couple tracks to listen to. So I start listening to him, and Gabe's a phenomenal drummer.
I call it a musician man's when other musicians, other band people reach out to them, and it starts out with, "What do you play? Oh, what do you play? Oh, we should play together." And it's like a instead of a bromance, it's like a musician man's.
Okay, that works.
Like
Yeah,
they reach out.
Well,
Oh,
we've got
by the
one-
way, Josh Hardwin, $39.95 for musician man's. By the way, punk.
What the?
Yeah, just in case.
Oh, apparently, you're going to owe him a lot of money.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I am.
Well, here's what's funny. He called and we finalized everything. He sent me a couple tracks, and I'm starting to listen to him. Gabe's a phenomenal drummer, and he's a fill machine. I mean, this guy can fill for days, and I'm not that way. I'm a groove drummer. I'm not flashy at all, you know. So I felt kind of saucy, a little hard on myself. So I drank 2 or 3 Red's Apple Ales, and I was toasted.
Please. More than that.
No, I had like 3 or 4 of them. It wasn't nothing crazy.
It was 2 or 3 the first time.
Well, I don't know what it was. Okay,
Three,
I'm
three,
a
four,
lightweight.
5.
Well, yeah, him and I are both lightweight.
Yeah,
Two
incredibly
or 3
lightweight.
Sam's, like 2 bottles.
I was incredibly drunk, and I called Derek, and an hour conversation worth of, I don't think I can do this, man.
Tell your friends I'm single.
I spent an hour telling him I don't think I can do this, man. He's just too good. I'm drunk on the phone like a babbling brook. So finally, we settled it, and here we are today.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a few shows already. Got a great response from the first couple shows we've done. And we've got another one coming up July 21st.
Yep, at Bethel
Road Pub. We're playing with
Yeah.
Black Coffee and A Pirate's Life. So there's a huge buzz going on right now about Black Coffee.
Yeah.
Dude, huge buzz. Those
Tommy
guys are
McCullough, man. Like, if you guys haven't seen, speaking of drummers, when we're speaking about drummers, like, that kid's kit is fucking sick.
Well, here's what's funny. Mike and I went to the Alrosa to see one of Seven's first showcase shows, right?
Yep.
We're kind of wandering around, and here come these guys wearing these shirts with the fringe hanging off of them, That's a little different. You don't see that.
Right.
And I'm watching him set up his drum set, and I looked at Mike, and I said, he literally kept that in a time capsule, from the 70s. Look at that
It was
thing.
his dad's kit from, like, high school or something similar like that.
Okay, so
it's a 1978 blue Ludwig. If I remember, he's got a yellow one now that his dad handed down to him, too.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, this
Sorry.
is retro. I'm sure he's got a whole comforter shoved in that bass drum because that's how they played.
Yeah.
They mic'd it. They started playing. I'm like, these guys are awesome.
Inside scoop, most of the time when Tommy sound mic checks his drums, he doesn't have to use a mic. He doesn't have to use it because the Ludwig drum sets were built such back in the 1970s that they were sound quality off of the show floor. So there's no need. They were built to not have to have a mic. So you can, if you want, you can mic it, but it's gonna overpower everything in the room.
I feel like I'm not doing my job as a drummer. I probably should have told you that, but now that you told me, I'm gonna write that down.
I'm just a huge
because
fan.
I'm gonna spark conversations with people at a bar about that, and I'm gonna totally steal that from you.
Oh, dude,
as if I knew.
And I'm a huge fan of, like, I've never played an instrument a day in my life, but I love music. I've been fascinated with it. I'm an 80s kid, and
Right.
83.
Jordan should be throwing up the horns about now.
and
That was your cue.
Mike Daniels in the chat room, he said he never used to drink until I left. Ass.
That's not true. We had many nights of beer pong at the apartment. That's the truth.
Shout out to Mike Kane, who's getting in here late. He's one of our regular, long-time followers and listeners on the show. Shout out to Mike Kane. He just had a birthday, and we missed his birthday.
There it is. There's the horns.
There it is. But I want to give a shout out to Mike Kane. He says, woohoo, Mary Jane, I know them. I just got in here. Damn it, I'm late. And then he threw in a huge paragraph right above your head there, Derek. Divided by Hate, my band, first gig being a frontman singer this Saturday at Ruby Tuesday Live. Black Coffee are some cool guys. Just seen them a couple weeks ago. Been a drummer for 25 years myself.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, I've recently just started talking to the Black Coffee guys to get to know them a little bit better, you know. And I think they're awesome guys. We're stoked to play their show with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next big one is August 26th.
Grindhouse's show that
2
they're
days
putting on
after
at
my
Al-
birthday. Woo!
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're playing with Grindhouse and Pay the Toll, Black Coffee.
Black Coffee again, Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, and there's one other one, and we are...
The name, unfortunately, is escaping us, so we apologize.
Yeah, we're really dropping the ball here.
Well, you know, the big thing, like we were talking about earlier in the show, man, bands are required to just do so many hats and so many things, you know, and the venues... I feel like at some point you have to cut the band some slack in 2017. They have to manage their social media. They have to write new music. They have to be relevant with their fans on social media. So that means if you have like 5 members and you have one who gets drunk at midnight and the other ones are sober, you have to make sure that drunk guy doesn't do any posts on the band page.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
You know? And you know what I see? I see a lot of keyboard warriors out there these days and a lot of people who quote unquote call themselves, excuse me while I get violent and break my shit. You know, they call themselves promoters and they call themselves supporters, but you don't really see or hear that. You know what I mean? And what is you guys' take on the way promotions is affecting the music scene here as a whole? I mean, you guys have been in and around the game for quite a while, so what is you guys' take on that?
I think personally that you just have to pick and choose your promoters like you
Absolutely.
pick and choose your venues.
Yep.
You know? Like if you hear some horror stories about something and you go with it, that's your fault for making a poor decision. Or if you don't do the research, that's your fault for making a poor decision. And I feel like nowadays we've gotten a little bit past working with local promoters, but we're starting to just breach that water of having to deal with promoters on a national level and eventually on an international level where you will have to work with them because in the future, you know, of the bands as they progress, those promoters are professionals, whereas we're not on that level. So you do have to put them on the payroll and trust them to do that. But on a local level, I think most of them are dogs and cheats and liars.
Yeah, you got to watch, man. There's a lot of snake in the grass promoters that will tell you, you know, I'm out for your better
like
interest.
your guerrilla music or your down
whatever
front
happened to that?
Well, what they do is every time they
happened to those
change their
guys?
name is all they do.
Oh,
they
really?
change their name and they get a new quote-unquote staff, which will be 1 to 2 people that they talk into doing this where they're like, hey, you can really make some money off of essentially ripping off these bands who think that they can't get into these venues on their own, where they say, oh, well, we'll give you a chance to play Newport or Alrosa or whatever. But in reality, you can do that on your own with your own merits.
Absolutely.
After just putting in basic hard work, the 10,000-hour rule like anything else, you know, just put in the work, put in the grind, find these people. But there are still a few promoters in town that I found that do well, you know, like your people like Celebrity, etc. Presents. There's one EDM promoter out there, or a group called My Best Friend's Party. We don't do any EDM or anything like that, but I noticed that they're bringing in big acts, they're paying their artists, and whenever things go wrong, they fix those things. So there are a few. There's a handful out there that are good promoters locally, but you really got to wade through the bullshit to find them.
So you guys, with the new bands and the way things are changing, what are 5 things, like, if we could? You know, I know we got about 9 minutes left. We're going to get Douchebag Criminals, but if each band could come up with 5 things for the up-and-comers, what would they be? Like, tips, pointers, what would they be?
Well, I hate to piggyback a guest you had last week, but practice.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you're ready before you get out of the basement. You know what I mean? That's huge. A lot of bands get excited and they just want to get out there and play in front of people, but you know, they need to make sure that they're ready to go before they make that step.
And I say this very lightly, but I would also say like equipment. Now, when I say equipment, that doesn't mean like go out and like break the bank so you can get like a $3,000 custom-made Gibson Les Paul in silver burst that's only limited edition, yada yada yada. But there's something to be said if you see somebody up there with some semi-decent gear, because not only is it going to sound freaking awesome, but it shows that you actually care about what you're doing and you're putting time into your actual craft because you've worked at this, you've tinkered with this, you've found what works for you.
And that goes on multiple avenues because if you've met a photographer with junk equipment, you automatically have a preconceived idea of how their work's going to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a generalized thing. You know, so I agree with that.
Right on. What do you think, Tony?
I would say initially decide whether or not you want to make it a hobby or or you want to make it a career, and then based off of that, if you're gonna make it a hobby, I don't think you need my 5 tips of advice.
No,
you
right?
do whatever it is you want to do,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Have fun all the way. But if you're trying to make it a job, treat it like a job. I would say don't necessarily trust people outside the band until everybody comes to a consensus. Like everything should be treated like a democracy. Put things to a vote. Don't get excited over money. If money comes into the picture, it may seem tempting at first, and then it could be something overwhelming. So if you can't do it yourself, I wouldn't recommend doing it until you have reached that realm of running out of things you can do yourself.
yeah.
Like work with what you've got, essentially. Like with your equipment, even if you've got not so good equipment, master that equipment before you move up. It's almost like how I would buy a $10 harmonica and then fuck around with it because I'm eventually going to break it or lose it or whatever, and then you buy a nice one.
Robert Rodriguez filmed his first movie with a basically run-of-the-mill camera and some heat lamps.
Was that Desperado?
So I think,
And he
I
made-
mean,
he
don't
made-
quote me
El
on that,
Mariachi,
but
maybe?
one of his first movies, I know.
His first light box he made was out of a shoe box, and he used the ceiling tile from the schools. They have the plastic fake film that goes across the. He broke one of those out and cut it and shaped it and put it in a shoe box and used that as a first light box
There you go.
for his set.
Another fun thing that he would do, like along the lines of working with what you've got, is when he hosts people and has them over, he's not a cook, he's not a chef, but he's got 5 or so dishes that he knows well, so he makes them well.
Yep.
So he uses those dishes, and that's what he makes. It's kind of like playing to your strong
It's an
suits.
Italian thing, man. Breaking bread while talking about
I think he's Hispanic.
I think one of the last things.
Yeah, he is.
I'm Italian. I don't know.
Networking is. You guys talked about that earlier. And true networking. That word has a terrible kind of sound to it. I guess we think of it like the businessmen, like hello, but really staying for the whole shows, fans or bands. I mean, don't just show up because your friend invited you and you saw their band and then you just left. And it's not more or less like we're forcefully trying to keep you there, but talking to the other bands and getting to know them.
That's a benefit.
You're not going to get invited to play another show with those guys again. You just left.
Now
Like, it's just gonna happen.
there's been an epic debate. We might even run over 10 o'clock. I really don't give a shit. It's my show. I'll do what I want. My boss isn't my boss, so I'm the boss. Yeah. So we'll run
Not
over.
if you
we'll
ask your wife.
Anyway. So yeah. Well, Anyway, love you, honey. I know you're listening to the show. But one of the things, like epic conversation, we could talk about it all day. Honestly, I know we could. But looking at that, like networking, social media, there's a gray line for some people. A lot of us, like you said, Tony, at the beginning of the show, man, 9-to-5ers, family men, got to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. What about those guys and those girls that can't stay for the whole show, but have to bounce out? Is there a respect line there? Like, since you're leaving,
I would say so. If you've got priorities, you got priorities.
But I mean, do you reach out though? You don't just bounce out the show.
What I do is I book more shows. So I'll give you a show where we're playing at 2 p.m. and I'll give you a show where we're indoor, and I'll give you a show where we're outdoor. I'll give you an all ages show. I'll give you everything that you need to where you can make an informed decision.
On a fan level, I think it's more understandable, but I think on a band level, playing with another group, you should at least have the
professional courtesy.
Something
absolutely.
like, hey, I really wanted to see your set, but I got to work early. The other 3 members of my band are going to stay and watch.
Don't just slip out the back door.
Exactly, because being in the
very
scene
least,
for
give them a
good,
like or something.
Yeah,
Or listen to their music and stream it.
Being in the community for a while, you do start to notice, like, there's a few names I could throw up. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus that sneak into shows, refuse to pay. You know what I mean?
I think you gotta earn that
they just
shit.
Sneak in the back
I
at
feel
every show.
pride when I'm going into a local show and I'm going, I'm not playing this, and I've played that stage, and I could find some kind of way to skis my way into this, but I feel
Shout
happy
out to
going,
Rick,
here's
Rick
$5
Anvil,
or
by the way.
$10.
Rick Anvil is in the room, and I want to point this man out because he is a huge supporter of the local music scene.
That's awesome.
He runs his own
Will you say
promotion.
Rick?
Rick Anvil of Anvil Promotions.
Rick's the man. He makes me super jealous with his beard because he knows I can't grow facial hair very well.
He has got one hell of a beard.
It's a bitchin' beard. It's almost as cool as his top hats, but his top hats. I mean, he could eventually just like lose that whole beard as long as he's got that top hat. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But so we're getting ready to close up the show here. Again, like I said, first and foremost, Zoo Trippin', the Admiralty, and Miss T. You guys are epically awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having us, man. We appreciate what you guys are doing here, man. This is huge.
What are you guys' next show so everybody can plug your shows before we get to Douchebag Criminals?
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. The next show that we're doing is a free show, 9 p.m. this Thursday at the CD 102.5 radio station, where it's free for people to attend and the public, but we're going to be playing full band live on air, so you can actually
Holy
tune in
shit.
and you can tune in and listen
Wow,
to it.
that's cool.
Speaking of live on air, we're also going to be featured on NBC4. They reached out to us to do a just a segment on the news to play something. But most of the shows for the summer are festival shows. Like we have Freakstomp Fest coming up, Linakia Fest. The final ID Festival will be doing a big thing for that. Fashion Meets Music Fest with Third Eye Blind and T-Pain and
Wow.
those guys. Like, it's we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. But mostly, I'm excited about the documentary that we're making and everything, and hopefully we'll have a release date with that soon. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys.
Never.
When we do release this, we're looking for a theater to release it in because it's going to be a full-length feature film. Where would you guys go to see an independent release documentary, rockumentary?
Like a movie theater?
Yeah,
Honestly,
Someplace
like I
classic.
feel like Lennox would be a
historic.
tricky one. Like
I
we used to
think
work at Lennox,
that-
but I feel like that's too big.
Misty,
I thought Studio
you know.
35,
That's
but I just
yes,
wasn't sure.
exactly. Studio
Yeah.
Right
35
there in
was
Indianola.
exactly what I was.
That's
gonna
where the
say.
Warren
know what
Flints
they
had their
would do.
release
I know.
show.
I mean,
That was
I
great.
grew up in that. Like I went there as a kid. I remember going there all the time with my aunt as a kid. Now I will say the last time I went, I almost I actually did cry. I'm not gonna lie. Like I cried because it's nothing like it was.
changed
Right.
it.
It's still a
it
one-screen
doesn't-
thing, though,
yeah.
but
The auditorium when I was there at least was still the same, but the entire front of the house was complete. Like I didn't recognize
They
it at
gutted
all.
it, basically.
I walked in and I was
have
like,
you been in the Drexel in Grandview?
I have.
Yes.
I used to live in Grandview and I've been there, and that would be another good
So
place.
would you maybe prefer one of the over or one of the other,
You
or
know,
maybe
I-
even
I haven't
Gateway?
I haven't been to the Drexel in so long that I don't know. And it's been a while
You
since
have
I've been
to make
studio,
sure that the
so.
venues are going to be good to the people that are coming.
Right.
Right.
It's
You
it's a
know?
tricky thing because we've never done something like
And,
this.
Right,
and the
this is
other
new.
thing too
Yeah.
is you got to think about places like Drexel and Studio are smaller, so you would either have to do multiple airings,
Inside, outside, or
you know something like that if you're expecting a larger capacity
Ooh,
than
like
what they have.
Mikey's Late Night Slice, where they have the movies projected
Oh,
on the
there
wall.
you go.
Fellows, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cheap right there. Shit, there's
But
pizza
then-
and
but then
drinks.
you
Right.
And I know a lot of people at Mikey's. We almost might be able to make that happen.
That
Right.
actually,
So
that
how
could
long
be
is
it?
how long is the movie? How long is the documentary going
I'm
to be?
thinking
It'll-
2
It'll
hours.
probably be about 2 hours.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot
We
of
could
footage.
pull the Titanic move and just like break in the middle.
I was going to say,
come
why
down.
not? Why not do it? Why not do a live show with it?
There you go.
Yeah, that could be it.
I
could
mean, that would be a
actually-
long ass night,
then
but
you could do DVD sales.
That does sound
for
like fun, though,
concerts.
That would be
inside
great,
of
man.
it.
That seems like a good multimedia
like everybody
aspect,
would be
you know?
pumped up
Yeah.
after watching it. Like, oh, I'm
Right.
so connected to these guys, and then boom, there
Boom
you are.
show.
Yep.
It was just like the reverse of what the Fantods did, because the Fantods
Yes.
named that movie, released
Yes.
it at the Gateway, or I
Yes.
think it was the
Right.
Drexel,
It
and
was
then
the Drexel.
after the movie, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to see this band,
Right.
the Fantods," but they
Boom,
had broken
there they are.
up.
Yep.
Well, they'd broken up the
Oh,
night before. They
oh,
played
yeah.
the last show at the Newport
Yeah.
like the night before,
Yeah.
and then released a movie about themselves, and everybody's like, "This band is fucking awesome,"
you
and then
really
they couldn't
get-
see him anymore.
Well, hopefully that's not what happens with ours.
Right.
Right.
One of
Yeah,
my
we'll get-
one of my friends was on the backstage of that show. He was hanging out backstage that night, their last show, and when the guitarist pulled the guitar cord out and threw it out, it went way back and hit my dude in the side of the face. Like he was like, "I'm a fan for life, even though they're over. That was awesome."
Dude, I almost got trampled at their show when they
Yeah.
played. They played a reunion show where they flew them in from different parts. Yeah, from Independence Day Fest.
Yeah,
and they
I
flew
heard
them
that
in
was
from across
crazy.
the country, and it got so crazy because at the end they were saying, "Hey, we have all this leftover merch, so if anybody wants it, it's free. It's right over there." But it was a Miller set. So everybody's like,
Wow.
"Oh, sweet!" But hold on, I want to see the rest of
Yeah.
their set. And then they start saying, "We got free
Mid-trample.
stickers, we got free this," and people are like, "All right," slowly kind of working their way. They said, "We're free CDs," and they're speeding up a little bit. And then they say, "We got free vinyls over there too," and the crowd starts
that's-
running.
yeah.
And I got smushed against the merch table,
Man.
and the merch person had to pull out a stack of CDs from underneath my chest just so I could sneak out from underneath the crowd. Like,
So are they going to get back
Wow.
together? Is that the?
dude, it was brutal. No, they're not. They're
Damn.
not. I wish.
So one thing we do before we get out the show, man, we do douchebag criminals, and this is Josh's personal
Love it.
favorite, man.
I love it.
And so what we do is we find two criminals, man, that are absolutely fucking stupid. And this is just great. Like I found two perfect ones right here. And if you guys turn behind you there, you guys will see the douchebag monitor. And
Wait,
douchebag
that's us,
monitor.
though.
Wow.
Oh, wait, no,
That's
there's
my
this
dad.
person there.
and
Damn it, Dad. I knew it.
So this is our first douchebag criminal of the evening. Jacksonville man trips while pointing gun at officers. Jacksonville man was arrested after he pointed a gun at officers and then tripped during a foot pursuit. Authorities said that Travis Mueller, 25, is facing several charges after he ran from officers during a traffic stop on July 9th. Mueller was pulled over for a stop sign violation at approximately 9:15 at night. Mueller ran from his car after officers walked back to the patrol car. And 2 officers pursued Mueller on foot. After Mueller ran away, he reached into his front waistband and pulled out a black Glock 19. Personally, it would have been Smith & Wesson if it was me. Anyway, he had the gun in his right hand and began to turn toward the officer when he tripped. Officers said he fell and dropped the gun on the ground. Officers said that they arrested him and found another gun in his pocket, and Mueller also has cocaine and marijuana on him, all in the same pocket. Turns out that officers said that while Mueller was being taken to jail, he said, "You should have shot me for what I did." And Mueller was charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, 2 counts of possession of a firearm by convicted felon, carrying a concealed firearm, resisting an officer, and armed possession of marijuana, among other charges. But there's a lovely picture of the man.
Hold on,
right
I'm going to
there.
stop real
There's
quick.
some big pockets.
That dude right there is not 25 years old.
Oh God, no.
No,
That
like
is
45.
Did you just say 25?
Yeah.
That's because he lives in Florida. You know what Florida does to people.
Right. They're weathered.
That's where his hair went.
Yeah, it's, being under the sun all that time.
Hurricane
Also,
winds blowing the hair off.
Assault.
Yeah.
What did he?
It sounded like he just fell.
Did they consider pointing the gun the assault?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
I
All
was
right,
just
yeah,
making
that
sure.
makes sense.
I was just making sure.
Yeah,
It sounds like he assaulted himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kicked my own ass.
It's like, yeah. Oops.
And
VIP.
my second douchebag criminal, this guy, man arrested after taking his pet crocodile for a walk at the beach.
People look happy.
The kids
They
are,
were great.
The kids are petting it.
He
It's all
seems
good.
all right.
Look,
Let's hear the rest of it.
Just pet his head
No,
away
what's
from
the
child.
story
The
though?
kid's hands right by
So,
the head.
I know,
an owner
right?
of a giant crocodile has been arrested after he took his animal to the beach for a walk. The reptile was kept on a leash like a dog as he
Seems safe.
as he walked in the shallow water on the beach of Anapa in Russia. Obviously, it had to have happened in Russia.
It's always
Right.
Russia.
It's always
course.
Russia. So he was spotted taking the animal, which he called his pet, to the beach where children played by the shore. Despite the species' fearsome reputation and links to hundreds of potential dangerous attacks each year, it showed no sign of aggression to children.
That's a well-trained animal right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well-trained.
Seems
A lot of
legit.
years of obedience school.
That's actually really legit for Russia. Like this isn't even a problem in Russia. Right?
And, during the video, the video
no
was
big
shot.
deal. It's no big deal. I just walked the crocodile.
The video was shot on a smartphone. One small girl spotted fleeing the scene out of fear because she's like less than 5. No adults in the resort town of Anapa in Russia's Kasador Kuri region appear to be concerned by the antics of the owner. The owner was promptly arrested after the video went viral, and his identity has not been revealed to protect that because of rights activists and such. He allegedly was keeping the crocodile in a tiny aquarium at his home and using it to make money, basically doing like selfies and stuff like that, letting people take photos with him and stuff. The crocodile has now been given to a zoo in the city of Novorossiysk and the same region as the resort town that he got busted in. So
Better
if he
than
wants to go visit
Cincinnati,
it,
I guess.
I mean,
I want to know why cops keep arresting people like after the fact. Like,
Right.
I saw a video of this motorcyclist with a GoPro camera on his helmet, and
Yep.
he almost wrecked, and then flips over, survives. But it's this like crazy thing, and then like 3 months later, because it went viral, the cops like ticketed him, took his motorcycle away.
Yeah.
Really?
And it seems like it's almost like you weren't there.
It's
It's
that
not a
shouldn't
murder or
be-
anything.
That should
Right.
It was a
be
victimless
okay.
crime.
I guess if they
Right.
could prove, but then you'd have to like myth bust it at that point. Like
Kinda.
how fast
Right.
is he going? Look at these side markers in the video.
It was crazy. I thought it was
Right.
just weird.
Right. That's
Because like it.
that's like a whole like big,
apples and
huge
oranges.
Wait
gray
till
one.
it's
There's
like
worse
Total
things going on in
Recall.
Russia than this
Right,
fucking crocodile.
right,
Let's
right.
talk about that.
I mean,
20 feet from that crocodile, someone was being
I
murdered.
mean, shit. Let's talk about the people
With a
selling
hammer.
heroin to kids. How
They
about we
didn't
put
tell
them
you
in
that
jail?
Yeah,
little
let's
girl was
not
running
talk-
because there was a pedophile on the
Let's
beach.
not talk
but
about the
watch out,
crocodile. Let's talk about the
crocodile's there.
crocodilia or
Right.
whatever that is.
all right, guys. Well, we are out of time. We are out the door. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight.
for
man.
having
Thank you
us.
for
I
having
do
us.
appreciate you
You're
guys.
welcome.
And we will be back this Thursday. Also, don't forget, man, we have a ticket giveaway going on all the way till the 27th. Turn It Up 10 Fest, August 4th.
25th.
No, it's August 4th.
Well, no, you said 27th. It ends on the 25th. We draw on the 27th.
Oh, bitch, tell them.
Bingo.
Whoa.
Tell them.
Tell them how it
Tell
is.
'em.
Shit, bitch, tell them.
Well, fine.
You already know.
Yeah, I already know.
So it's a ticket giveaway for the August 4th Turn It to 10 Fest. And it is 2 tickets for you and a friend or your lover or whatever. You know,
What about a
we
rubber
don't judge.
fist?
I mean, if that's how
Should
you
you bring a
roll.
rubber
American challenge.
Right. Apparently, you've seen the Great American
I
Challenge.
have, I have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so to enter, just subscribe to our YouTube page and tell us your best Saving Abel memory and what show you were at if you've been to a show. If you haven't and you're just a fan wanting to go to a show, then tell us what song you heard that made you a fan and why.
Yep.
Oh wait, I got a ticket thing too. If you guys want to get tickets to Fashion Meets with like T-Pain and
Tegan and
all
Sarah.
them, Tegan and Sarah, and who else got Third Eye Blind and all those guys.
So we'll be in touch then, and we'll do a
yeah.
ticket giveaway for
If you
'em.
want to do that, though, there's a promo that we just got in the email today that says if you buy the tickets and you enter the promo code TRIPPIN, that's TRIPPIN without the G, I think it's all caps, TRIPPIN, you can get a day pass for only $20, which I think is less than, or it's more than half off of the actual ticket price.
That's a damn good deal.
Lynn's been over there on the couch, man. I want to give a shout out to our man Lynn hanging out over there, man.
He's gonna murder me after this for being in. Now I'm in Zoo Trippin' now.
Yeah, you are. Definitely.
I am Lynn. I am Lynn Rose.
All right, guys, plug your social media real quick. Zoo Trippin', go ahead and plug where they can find you.
You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere where music is sold, and buy physical copies of the show, or at www.zootrippin.com. That's trippin' without the G, zootrippin.com.
All right, and the Admiralty.
You just got us at Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Admiralty on Facebook. We don't have any of the fancy.
You will.
I think she's got some of the fancy.
She does. She got the fancy. What's going on, Miss T?
We'll
What
make
you
those
got?
old cassette tapes and
right.
give them out to people.
Hey,
Did you
that
say
works.
that's a
People
reel to
like
reel?
cassettes.
Dude,
People
cassettes are
love
dope.
It's
them.
that whole
They're back.
retro thing, yeah.
They're back. Cassettes and vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
All right,
That would be
guys.
sweet. We would bring back
what's your
cassette
thing?
I
tapes.
got you. You can find me at trdphoto.com, trdphoto on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys.
basement.
Speaking of that's it, I am Antman, and you've been hanging out live on Antman Verses on Tuesday. I'll see you guys Thursday night, man. Live show is going to be epically fucking awesome. $39.95. Josh
$39.95.
Harden.
$39.95.
And we're going to make sure we do a sound thing for him. That way we can make him feel all bubbly and special and shit. And I want to give a shout out to Columbus Botanical Depot, man. CBD Hemp Health, my man Joe. Go ahead and check him out, cbdhemphealth.com. Photo Nation AP. I'm going to give a shout out to my man David Sheets, who is handling all my business affairs. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Photo Nation AP. And Raw Designs, designsbyraw.com, my man Ryan Woods. Thank you, Siobhan, for having an awesome show. Thank you for putting in all your work.
Thank you for the horoscopes and the
Yes.
You're
dumbass
welcome.
criminals.
You're welcome.
Zoo Trippin' and the Admiralty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out, man. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us. Seriously.
And we will see you guys real soon, man.
Ant-Man out.
Bye.